Thank you all for joining. Thank you so much, Product School, for having me. I have to say I'm really excited because a lot of time I'm actually on the other side of the screen. So I think it's really cool for me today to join and to try to share about my experience with you guys. Today I'm about to talk about product management and passion. So I will try to answer a question like, what does it look like to work in this passion field as a product manager? What are the challenges? What are the does? What are the don'ts? And I will try to give you a few tips so you can try to apply them within your companies and hopefully get you excited to work in your passion field also. So I'm Benoit. I'm currently VP product at Deezer. So I do product management since 10 years, first in B2B. On a company called Enablon, great company you need to check. And now at Deezer since almost 2 years. You have my Twitter nickname just on the screen. So if you want to chat about anything, please reach out. And I'm also pretty available on LinkedIn. So just a few words about Deezer for those who don't know Deezer. So it's worldwide music streaming. It was built out of France. We have music, we have podcasts, and a lot of audio content. We have a worldwide footprint, so we are open in 180 countries. We have a really big catalog, so with 56 million of tracks, and we have 14 million monthly active users. And to give you the scale of what we are dealing with in terms of product team, we have a bunch of applications. So obviously we are on iOS and Android. But we are also on desktop, on various platforms. We are on smartwatches, we are on smart TVs. We are connected with various telcos around the globe with smart speakers like Google Home, Alexa, with headsets on cars, and we have a bunch of B2B deals to maintain. So it's a pretty big product, and it's an exciting responsibility to be VP product of this. So I guess you wonder what is the link between product and passion in my story, and obviously it's music. So let's rewind a bit so you understand the story. So it began obviously a long time ago when I was a kid. As long as I remember, I was always big into music. So I wanted to be a singer. So I wanted to be Jean-Jacques Goldman, actually. So probably you don't know Jean-Jacques Goldman. He's a really famous French singer. And at 10, I took all my money from birthday, Christmas, Tooth Fairy, and so on. And I bought my very first radio cassette. I was really, really proud. And since then, I think music never really left me. I bought hundreds of CDs and vinyls. I attend more than 200 live concerts. I played in 2 bands with whom I did more than 50 shows, and we got 2 albums. And I had an account with time with all major music streaming service, and early adopter of Deezer, Spotify, Apple Music. With time. So when I grew up, I started to work in 2002, and obviously I wanted to work in music. So I sent resume to all labels or radio or tech company that work in the field, but with no luck, unfortunately for me. It wasn't the right time, but so I started my career in consulting for a few years. Then I found several startups that pretty much all failed, unfortunately for me. So bottom line, as an engineer, because I'm an engineer, I know how to build a good product that works, but building a good product that works and people are ready to pay for it, it's another story. And I quickly understand that I had to change something or learn something to make it efficient. So then I discovered product management. And so I decided to use my incredible ability to fail to good use. And I decided to fail, but as a process. So to me, PM is the closest job to being an entrepreneur. So I decided to do it in a company called Enablon. And what I did is I really trained myself with what I call modern or 2.0 product management methodology, like Lean Startup Machine, for example. And basically, I learned how to put the user at the center of what I do, and basically how to create those great MVPs where you really deliver the minimum line of code with the maximum of value, so you can really speed up the process and we deliver value, focusing with users. And so I worked for Enablon for something like 8 years, and then one day I saw this ad on LinkedIn. Actually, Deezer is looking for its next VP product, and it was kind of the best, perfect match for me. So I was product director at the time, leading something like 10 product managers, and I said to myself, okay, VP products is my next job, and I want to work in music. So Deezer is probably the most known company around music nowadays. So it was the perfect match. I applied, and guess what? It worked. And here I am working in the music industry. So it took me 15 years, but I don't regret every day of it. And I'm working in my passion field. So when you enter your passion field, especially as a PM, it will leave you with one big question that you have to ask yourself is, do you want to be seen as an expert, a product expert, so someone that knows the drill, knows the stuff, and you can go if you have a question about issues that your customer may face, or let's say this passionate geek that you are, and in my case, the music geek. And you have to be careful, because it's not good to be seen as a music geek, because sometimes it's annoying and it's doesn't show a lot of professionalism. So let me explain how to be the expert, but still keep this geeky, passionate side, but really to put it at work. And so you probably wonder, what does it look like? Is it good? Is it glamour to work in music? Do I see my favorite artists all the time? Do I spend my day listening to music? Obviously, I do a bit of that, but it's also a really challenging position. But yeah, to me, there is three things really that stick when you work in your passion field. It's like the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I hope you really love Western spaghetti, because I choose this movie to illustrate that. So let's start with the good, because yes, it's obviously awesome to work in your passion field when you are a product guy. And the first thing that I want to say is, when you enter a company like Deezer and you love music, but I guess it's the same if you have passionate about sport, about I don't know, fashion, about movies, if you enter a startup that is working around those topics. And to me, the first thing is onboarding. So onboarding is an incredible experience for you when you work in your passion field, because basically it's like going backstage after a show. So you meet with people that you value and respect. You are eager to learn. I mean, every day is a new adventure, so you love it. Every minute of it, you love it. And you also understand how the product you use every day is built. And it's one incredible opportunity. I mean, how many times in life you have the opportunity to change a product that you use every day? It's not that common. And in this kind of field, you can do it, which is really awesome. So for me, for example, it really helped me to understand the competitive landscape. So obviously, I said it before, I was an early adopter from Deezer in the year 2000, something like that. Then I switched on Spotify. Then I use Apple Music, and then I'm back in Deezer. So obviously, it was easy for me to understand the competitive landscape. I used to work in B2B. In B2B, it's much more complicated, because you don't have open access to those platforms, and then you never use it before. So it's difficult for you to do it. Now you can be up to speed, and your onboarding can be super efficient thanks to that. Some tips for this part. So read it for the onboarding when you are passionate about your product. So first, and basically let's go beyond that, do 100 days plan. So think about your first 3 months and what you should do, and really write it. You have some really great templates. Reach out to me if you want some on the web, but do it. It's really, really interesting. The second thing is do this first competitive analysis. And obviously within the company that you will join, a competitive analysis you will find, but one that you have with your fresh eye is actually really valuable, because you will probably use another product before you join the company, and so you can really be efficient and maybe discover things that the others didn't so for a while. And after 3 months, it's also an overall advice: do a discovery report with your management after 3 months. So do what you thought was what you will discover and you didn't discover, and really explain again with your fresh eyes and this passion that you have on the side, a discovery report about what you could have discovered within the company and what you want to highlight. It's actually really valuable. Then the second pillar that I really want to mention is like, you have natural empathy for your product. And it's a good thing, right? To me, empathy is product management soft skill number one. So as a PM, you need to be able to feel what it's like to be in your user's shoes. And obviously it's easy for you because it was before, you still are, and it's a product that you use a lot of time every day. So, and it's not that often that, you know, you can eat your own dog food with so easily. So it's a really unique position. And for example, for me, it's really helped me to understand at Deezer that we needed to do something about design. So following our rebranding last year, I was with my fellow VP of design really pushing hard. So we redesigned the app, and the screen that you see on your screen is actually all what we call a colorful player. And it's really at the center of our experience. Is really a joyful and colorful experience. And we thought it could be good to really highlight how human joyful Deezer is with this. And again, my passion side helped me to say, okay, we need to do this because it will help our users to feel what we want to express with our product. So a few tips in this area. So I said it, but I would say it again. Eat your own dog food, use your own product as many times as you can. It's actually really important. One thing that we forgot, and it's really important when you work in your passion field, also it's the competition dog food. So continue to use the competition products. So for example, if you work in music and you use Spotify and you enjoy Deezer, continue using Spotify, because it's really important to be close to the competition to understand what they are doing. And the best case to do it is to continue using competition product. Also, and it seems obvious, but actually it's not, you need to report every bug or issue you may find. For, let's say, two reasons. The first one, sometimes some issues, or sometimes we joke about that when you're a product and we say, okay, it's not an issue, it's a feature. And some things get along with companies with time, because people are used to it and doesn't care anymore. And you're new and you say, okay, this is not normal, we should fix it. So be always keen to have people correct those kind of things, mistake or bad feature. And also in some companies, you have people that give up and don't report their own the issue or bugs with their own product, and this is where it's going bad. So you need to fight for it. I'm convinced that maintenance is a product management story, and you need to fight so your product is bug free, if that's possible, and you need to fight for it because you love it. You need to fight for it. Third thing about the good, it's you have a lot of belief and you have a lot of ideas, which is good, right? You have ideas on how to improve your product, how to delight your users, how to differentiate. Those are easy questions for you. So obviously you can pretty quickly do your own roadmap, and practically you have the answer of the question. If I am in charge, what will I do? And for example, for me, and this is the first prototype I did when I joined Deezer, and don't show that to my VP of design. He will be really mad that I did some design, but it was actually during my interview process. So really early in me joining Deezer. And you know, every morning when I enter the subway and I commute, when we was able to commute, it's not the case anymore, but soon it will be the case. And I'm doing the same thing always. So I open my app, I unlock my, I open my phone, I unlock my phone, I open Deezer, I put my favorite track, I play it in shuffle. It's like 6 steps. It's insane with all the machine learning and intelligence artificial that I have to do these 6 steps. And funny enough, I create what I call smart scenes. So basically shortcut that will be automatically created for you according to what you are doing. And I was probably not that wrong, because actually something like a month ago, Spotify did something really similar. So it's, again, it's showing that you have those kind of ideas, because again, coming back to empathy, you have that, and you know what at least you have ideas on what should be done. So a few tips on this one. So express and document your problems and ideas. Again, especially when you have those fresh eyes, you need to document everything. It's actually really valuable, because you know, it's several brains are always better than one, and it's good to have and document those ideas. In the meantime, you need to be open to feedback and criticism, because a lot of time you will have people that will say, it's a good idea, but we did it before, we tried before, we did an A/B test or something like that, or just it's not the right idea, and maybe you will have information that you don't have. So you need to be open for that, especially if you're a bit geeky, because sometimes you will have ideas that are probably more for power users, or people that really love the product like you, and maybe not for the vast majority of people. Also, you need to fact check your beliefs. So sometimes you will think that this kind of people will use more your product, or this kind of behavior will be more for people that are youth or old. You need to check all that. So hopefully when you join the company you are working for, you have access to data, so you can fact check everything. And it's really, really key. So now let's talk about the bad, because I know it sounds exciting, but still there is some dark side, and I wanted to drive you through those bad sides so we can mitigate them, right? And the first thing that comes in mind that is really bad when you're a product manager working in your passion field is like, you have a lot of ideas and you have a lot of belief. Of course you have those ideas, but you are not your users. And this is one thing that you need to always remember, is like, you want something for you, but for example, me, I have 14 million active users, and they are in all ages and in a lot of countries. So I cannot push something that I believe it will be wrong. So I need to focus much more on what my user wants and not what I want, which is, by the way, what we should do at scale when we are product managers. But it's not a natural human behavior. This is something we need to fight for. You know, one thing to do it is actually not to focus so much on ideas, but to focus on problems. So I know in webinars, in conferences, we hear that a lot, that you need to focus on problems when you're a product manager. But it's actually really important, and sometimes we forget about that. And you know, when ideas and solutions are controversial, because a lot of time people will say, okay, you have these ideas, but I have another one, and mine is better. So you will debate on ideas, where you won't debate on problems, because if you face a problem, there is a huge change that your user will face the same. So you need to, you know, this is my quote, you may not have the same ideas on your users, but you sure will have the same problems. So for example, you have a connection problem with your app, your user will have the same, and after it's another story to how to fix it, but the problem is that itself is not debatable. So you need to focus on the problems. You need to be the king of the problem, and then after really work with what I call collective intelligence. So your peers at design, your peers on the business side, your peers on the tech side, to find the best solution to your problems. But you really need to focus on problems. So a few tips, again, I will say it again because it's really important. Focus on problems. One thing that I like also that we did at Deezer, create a team that is as diverse as your users. So for example, at Deezer, we are open in 180 countries. So I cannot have 180 people coming from 180 countries, but still the product team at Deezer is 25 people, and we have 6 different nationalities within the headquarters in Paris, within my team, because it's important to, so we don't introduce a BAs of building a product out of France. We have people coming from other countries, other cultures that say, hey, you know, maybe this is not right. Maybe this is, you should do things differently, because in my countries or culture, we think differently, or we use music differently. It's the same with age. You need to have junior people, you need to have experienced people. It's the same with gender. Deezer user base, it's 50% male, female, and the product team is 50% male, female, from product managers to head of product. It's something that is really important. So we try to get rid of the BAs that our own individuals can introduce. And also, you need to listen to your users at scale. And I will say it after also. The best thing to avoid having your ideas going in the wrong direction is to listen to your users and to really put them at the center of what you do. It's really, really important. The second thing about what is bad is from my perspective, passion is fun, but product is tough. So you used to have a lot of fun with your passion. So to me, I said before, a lot of shows and stuff like that. But being VP of product or such a product is something that is tough, really. And on the left side, you have music, which is cool. And I'm listening to music all day. It's really helped me to go through my life, especially in this confinement time. On the other side, you have acquisition, retention, reliability, stability, usability, conversion, revenue, stickiness, engagement, churn. It's a lot to manage. It's a lot to process. And so obviously it balances the fun part. So to me, to fight this, what you need to do is to develop a really deep product, user, and data understanding to support your passion. So what does it mean? It means that you need to be the best as understanding your product. How does it work? Obviously, which is not like the same thing that having your product and use it on a daily basis, but what are kind of A/B tests you have running? Why this feature is implemented like that? What are the rules behind this and that? You need to understand that. Then you need to understand user. I said it before, I will say it again. It's really important. You need to be the best at understanding your user pain. It's actually really important. And data. So data is really good to inform you about a decision to make, a problem that happened. And you need to take all those 3 things to support your passion. And basically, when I come back between expert and geek, this is where you need to find your balance. But really be the expert in your area, and basically use your passion as a cherry on the cake. And this is what I call the 3/3 rule. So basically, to me, every decision you want to make, every solution, every problem you want to push or solution that you want to implement should be pushed by 3 things that are equal: data, user insight, and your own expertise. So it's really important, because data will inform you about a problem or a performance, but the user will probably give you another vision of this. Sometimes the data are good, but the user feedback about what you try to measure is actually bad. And your own expertise, because we want to create a team of product managers and know the drill, and sometimes can make a call. So some tips: develop a strong internal network. So if you want to be the expert, you need to know everyone within the company and understand. So for example, at Deezer, it means that we need to really understand people that are putting the content within Deezer, so the podcast and the music and the audiobook. We need to be friends with people that are doing the business side. We need to be friends with people that are implementing our data framework and with tech team, etc., etc. It's really important. Focus on analytics and business KPIs. Obviously, be really sharp with that and be able to answer like about this question on data and understand how your product works and be able to talk with data about it. I said it before, sorry about that. Use the passion card like a cherry on the cake. So if you have some aspect within your passion that make your point really relevant, use it, but use it really as something top on top of good data, good user feedback, or good expertise. Now, the last thing before we go to me is like really the ugly of being working in his passion field when you're a product manager, and I don't want to hide it because to me it's really important and you need to fight it. So the ugliest thing is like every coworker is a product manager. So for example, at Deezer, I'm not the only one to be passionate. Actually, a lot of people are passionate about music, and so everyone is coming back and talk to me about their ideas or what we should do or what we should have done differently. So it really makes your life complicated, and a lot of times they talk to you about solutions, not about problems. Again, coming back to problems, you need to be on the problem side and say, hey, maybe your solution is cool, but to what problem are you referring to? And to me, to really fight this is like, again, putting your user at the center. And to me, no one should have the final cut but your users, even your CEO. What does it mean? It means that when you want to put something on a roadmap, make sure that you have your user support. And it's not something that is coming from the top or somewhere else, even yourself. Put things in your users' hands and let them decide. So for example, at Deezer, what we are doing is like every month we are welcoming users to watch, to discuss around prototype, around ideas, and every kind of things that we want to do will always be at some point at the end of users. So we make sure that we take the best decision possible, which is the most complicated part within our job, I think. And if you defer that to users, you will do way less mistake than just taking the decision yourself or the one for the guys that have the highest page. So some tips: do user research, do UX validation session. We are doing that at Deezer. We are having incredible results thanks to that, and it's really a way to scale and to avoid like those ideas coming out of nowhere. Always communicate those results. Sometimes for some part of the company, it's difficult to understand this kind of processes. They are not that straightforward to understand. So communicate results. We did a study about this feature. We showed it to this amount of users, and they said no, it's not a good thing for this and that, and they would prefer this. Share this to the rest of the company because it's valuable. It helps also to crack the beliefs that other people have or their own belief, and so it also helps you on the be seen as an expert. So it's really important that you spread the word and also have a business impact approach. So what does that I mean by that? It's like try to really understand the impact of a problem that you want to solve. And a lot of time when someone will come with one solution about, I have these ideas, say, okay, but basically against the competition, what impact do you think we will have? So the impact could be the number of users that will use this feature or the business that you will generate. And a lot of time you will see that this exercise help people realize that maybe it's a great idea for them, but not for the rest of your user base. And actually it's less important that this thing or this thing. So I know it's a lot, and I guess my next question for you, like, is it your turn? Because at the end of the day, I do think it's awesome to work in your passion field. So I cannot say enough that you should try it. If you love movies, go work at companies that are producing movies, or a VOD platform, a streaming platform. If you love music, come apply at Deezer or the other services. If you love fashion, go work at some fashion brands. But try it, it's really awesome. It's an incredible experience. So before I let you go, the key takeaways for me are, so first, focus on problems you and your user have is the most important thing that you have to do. And again, I know that we said it a lot in this kind of webinar or conferences, but actually it's probably the most complicated thing that product managers have to do. Develop your expertise, be seen as the expert and not this product geek, not this passion geek that you can be, but really seen as the expert. Apply the 3-4 rule, so push item within your roadmap with data, user insight, and your own expertise. Let your user be the boss, put them at the center of what you do, and let them decide if something worth the implementation or not. And finally, always put passion in what you do. I have to say, I think passion and product management sit really well together. And I love to work with passionate people. I'm passionate myself, obviously, about music, but also about product management. That's why I'm here today. And so put passion in what you do, and you will do an awesome product management job if you do that. With that, I will leave you. Thank you very much. Please reach out if you have any kind of question on Twitter, LinkedIn, even on Product School. I would love to hear your voice. Thank you very much, and have a great day or night, depending on where you are.